Oh my, hold on. Chat. I got a story for you guys. Oh man, I've got a story. Okay. All right. Let me set the stage here. Last night, it is probably like 2 in the morning, okay? I'm staying up way past my bedtime, but it's Friday night, so who cares? And I was reading Mangoes, chat. I was reading Mangoes, and the power goes out for a few seconds. And I've got a battery backup on my computer, so I'm like, okay. Then it comes back on. I'm like, all right, I have to fix some of the clocks later. I'm gonna go back to reading my Mango. It happens a second time. Fine, whatever, I'm fine. I finished reading the whatever I was reading, and then I was like, all right, it's time for bed. I'm up too late. So I go to bed. Now, in our household, I'm a heavy sleeper. So my wife will get up, she'll put on full plate mail and just start stomping around and making phone calls right next to the bed. I will sleep through all of it. My wife, however, if I drop a breadcrumb near her, she will wake up and not be able to fall back asleep. So I have learned the skills of a ninja when it comes to going to bed later than her, all right? I am undetectable because I don't want trouble, chat. All right, so I am performing great courtesies to not wake her up. So I am ninja-ing my way to bed, and I get under the covers, and I'm like, all right, I'm starting to try to, fall asleep, and the power goes out. And the reason I know this is we have a noisemaker in our room, chat. You got like a white noise machine, right? We got like an air purifier that isn't actually purifying the air because we don't maintain it. It's just there for the white noise. It shuts off, and I'm like, the power goes out again. And my wife apparently pulled out of her slumber by the absence of white noise, despite the fact that she's like deep in REM sleep or whatever it's called, suddenly goes, and just does this like gas banshee wail thing. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, because it's like pitch black, and she's like a foot next to me and does that. And I'm like, and I didn't even have time to think. I just went, it's okay. And she's like, huh? And I'm like, the power went out. The power's going out. And she's like, oh, I didn't know. And I'm like, of course you didn't know. Your REM sleep wasn't signed up for a subscription fee. There's no way you would know. I'm like, all right, that was kind of terrifying. So I'm laying there and I'm trying to fall asleep. But I've been using a white noise machine for a very long time, chat. It is difficult for me to fall asleep right now. And I'm laying there and I'm laying there and I'm laying there. And also our air conditioner is turned off, so like it's getting really hot in the room. And I'm like, what can I do about this? And I'm thinking, maybe the power's come back on and the circuit breaker got flipped. So I'm like, all right, well, getting out of bed is going to disturb her. So I might as well just announce what I'm doing because she's going to be like, what the heck are you doing? So I'm like, hey, I'm going to go check the circuit breaker and just see if it's the breaker for the bedroom. And she's like, it's the whole house. And in my brain, I'm like, how would you know? Like, all you did is wake up, scream, and then I told you what was going on. You don't know. And then, like, all that's going through my head. I haven't said a word. And then the power comes back on. And I'm like, oh, good. I don't have to do anything. So I lay back down because I had stood up and then I got back in the bed and I lay back down. And I'm laying there. And as I'm laying and my left side is on the pillow and I'm hearing this high-pitched noise. I'm like, what? I get up and I don't hear it. I lay down and I hear it. And I'm like, do I have tinnitus? What is that? And I'm hearing this noise and I keep hearing it. And I keep trying to like ignore it and find a position where I don't hear. I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now, but I don't hear it when I sit up. So I'm sitting here just like acquiring tinnitus. And finally I was like, all right, I'm tossing and turning a lot. I'm going to hear about it to no end tomorrow. I'm going to go downstairs and crash on the couch and deal with whatever's going on. So I get up and go into ninja mode. I don't think she noticed this part. And I go to the door to the bedroom and I open the bedroom door. And I immediately hear the noise louder. I'm like, it's real. And like, I've never been so excited that a noise in my head was real. I'm like, it's real. It's something downstairs. There was something downstairs that was beeping, and I could only hear it when I laid down and put my left side against the bed. And I'm like, all right. And I also see that my son's light in his bedroom is turned on. I'm like, okay, he's gotten woken up by this too, and he doesn't know what's going on. So I'm like, all right, whatever, fine. So I go downstairs, and there was a battery thing that was going off because of the power there. And I'm like, okay, so I turn off that thing. And I'm like, much better. And I'm like, all right. So I grab like a blanket and a pillow. I'm like, I'm gonna crash on the couch because I'm not tired at all and I don't want to disturb them. So I crash on the couch and I start to fall asleep. And Chip comes running up and lays down next to me because Chip is, usually the door to my bedroom is closed. I'm asleep. He's not allowed in there. So Chip comes up and he's next to me. And I'm like, all right. So I'm laying there. And then I feel like, I don't know if like a second passed or minutes passed, but I feel like someone's watching me. You know, like that weird feeling. And I look over and Chip's got his back to me and I'm like, it's not Chip. I turn over and there's the silhouette of my 13-year-old son standing there and he's just staring at me like a serial killer. And I'm like, Jesus! And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I heard a noise. And like, so he had come down because he had heard a noise. And like, I don't know if he had just arrived or if he'd been standing there for a couple of moments and was like trying to decide if he should wake me up. But I woke up because I was like, something's staring at me. And I look at him, ah! And he's right there. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, all right, look, the power went out. It set some alarms off, and I bothered Mom while I was trying to fix things. So I'm just laying down here in case something else happens. And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, great. All right, go back to bed. And he's like, okay. So he goes back to bed. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I lay back down. I fall asleep again. Now, it might have been a minute. It might have been an hour. I don't know. But I start like hearing like. And I like in my brain that was forced to play 25 scary games for October, it's gore. I'm thinking someone's body is being ripped apart behind me. What is going on? And it pulls me out of sleep and I turn around, Chip is taking a bath right behind my head. And I'm like, oh my freaking God, could you not? It's like 5 a.m. and he laid down behind my head and was like, it's bath time. And I was like, all right, every other member of this household has woken me up with fear. Like, my wife screaming like a banshee, my son acting like a serial killer, and then Chip just like, stirring macaroni and cheese right behind my head. And I'm just like, could you all leave me alone, please? So I fell back asleep again, and then like my wife wakes me up at like, I don't know, like 9 a.m. and she's like, why are you down here? And I'm like, I will fuss at you later. I'm like, leave me alone. Because I had like 5 hours of sleep with 3 interruptions or something like that. How was your sleep? It was trash. It was trash. But yeah, I tell her the story. Dude, I thought she was going to have an accident. She was laughing so hard when I told her the noise she made. I was like, yeah, so yeah, you woke up screaming. I didn't scream. And I'm like, you went, "Ooh!" And she's like, and she's dying laughing. And she's like, that's more of a gasp. And I'm like, yeah, that's a gasp of someone dying. Like, and I was like, look, we need to build your tolerance for scary. And I've got 25 spooky games you can play so that your first guttural instinct is no longer that. You know, like we gotta change your fight or flight programming to fight